Welcome to the 2021 i3 Day at the University of Charleston. I'm President Marty Roth, and i3 Day is a special event on our campus every year. Students, faculty, and staff all come together to celebrate great ideas, innovations, and inspirations. We unleash our creativity to identify ways to make our world a better place. As we did in spring 2020, we are once again conducting i3 Day virtually. Even though we can't come together physically on campus, we know all of the great ideas, innovations, and inspirations that our students, faculty, and staff have to share need to get out there for all of us to see, to enjoy, and to learn from. This year, over 50 entries were submitted. Judges reviewed recorded presentations, identifying category winners, and a slate of impressive finalists. Today, we reveal the results of our Final Four and the prizes they will receive. Here to share more with us is our Director of Innovation at the University of Charleston, David Ramsberg. Dave, take it away.
Thank you, President Roth, and welcome everyone to the 2021 i3 Grand Champion Competition. Before we get to the final four presentations, I would like to thank all of our students, faculty, and staff who took the time to present their ideas, innovations, and inventions. We had over 50 presentations delivered during this event. You are the heart and soul of i3. I would also like to thank the UC Communications team, who once again this year has worked hard behind the scenes to bring i3 to life in a virtual environment. Last but not least, our community judges. They helped us narrow this field to the final four. Every year we have 50 plus judges, and this year's no different. 54 participated in the first round. Thank you for giving your time, energy, and expertise. We couldn't do this every year without your voluntary support. So what is i3? How did these students reach the final round? First of all, i3 was created several years ago as an event where anyone on campus could share their innovative work. It is not tailored to one specific type of innovation, but rather enables innovative activity and work to take part. This year, i3 consisted of two rounds. The first round was conducted a couple of weeks ago and consisted of students competing against similar presentations in one of four categories. The categories in this year's competition are, number one, research. The second category is work of art, design, performance, or creation. Third category, product, service, process, or project. And the fourth category is case study. In round one, cash awards are given to the top three presentations in each category as determined by the judges. From there, the category winners have moved on to this final round where they are competing for the i3 Grand Champion Award. In this round, there are no categories. Every presentation must stand on its own in a free-for-all battle to determine the winner. All judges from the first round categories were invited to adjudicate the finals. The runner-up today will receive a $1,000 prize in addition to their first round winnings, and today's winner, the grand champion, will receive an additional $2,000 prize. So you can see there's a lot at stake today. For today's event, we will see each of the finalists' presentations. Then after a brief break, we will announce the results. Now, let me introduce today's first contestant, the winner of the student research category, Stefan Krumerik.
Hello, my name is Stefan Krumerik, and I'm going to present to you the effect of memorization techniques upon recall. So I was inspired by a lesson in cognitive psychology where mnemonics was the main topic. My hypothesis therefore for this study is that chain mnemonic is going to serve as a better memorization technique compared to no instruction and root mnemonic. The method that I'm using is a 3x2 independent group factorial design, where my first independent variable is the type of technique, which consists of the participant getting no instruction and having free access to using whatever method they want to do to memorize a word list. 2, root mnemonic, which is a technique where the participant chronologically repeats the pattern of the words presented. And then chain mnemonic, which is a 3x2 abbreviation code sequence, which I'm going to provide an example for later. The second independent variable is the word list, which is consisted of 10 words and 20 words. My dependent variable is observing recall accuracy, in other words, the amount of words retrieved and amount of errors. The total amount of participants that was in the study was a total of 60, where in each condition there were 10 participants. Here's a table to illustrate what my interactions look like. So participants would sign up for time slots and afterwards would receive invitation through Microsoft Teams Participants were randomly assigned to one of 6 conditions, and they were also monitored while the study occurred. Depending on the condition given, the participants were exposed to memorization technique, one of the 3, and one of the 2, either the 10-word list or the 20-word list. The time limit for memorizing was 5 minutes, which was then followed by a 2-minute cooldown, where participants refrained from any interaction. The picture of the designated word list for each specific condition was shown through the screen share on Microsoft Teams. Afterwards, the picture would be taken down, and the participants would be asked to send the words that they recalled on an email. Afterwards, a debriefing statement was followed by. Here's an example of the chain mnemonic, which is taking the first letter of each word and putting it in a 3x2 sequence. Looking at the results of the percentage recall, I used a 2-way ANOVA for analyzing the results, the data, and there was no significant effect on the memorization technique or the word list or the interaction between the memorization technique and the word list. However, if you pay attention to the p-value of the memorization technique, you can see that it's 0.068, which is very close to the significance level, which is 0.05. This indicates that I'm on a trend towards significance. And you can also see this on the table, where you can see that chain mnemonic is doing slightly better than the other ones, but not enough for the result to be significant. A descriptor was done in order to see the difference in means from the long and short list, and a post hoc comparison was also done. Results regarding commission, which is the amount of words that the participants created. A 2-way ANOVA was again conducted. And as you can see, there's no significance on main effect for memorization technique or main effect for word list, or also again the interaction of memorization technique and word list, which is basically indicating that there was really no significant difference of words created depending on what condition the people were in. Here you can also see on the graph that on the long list, chain and root had around the same commission, and none was lower. And then you see on the short list that chain did better than non and root memorization. So the anticipation was that chain mnemonic was going to do significantly better regarding recall accuracy. The results were not significant. However, as I said, I'm on a trend towards significance, meaning that I'm very close. And the reason why I think I didn't achieve significance was because one participant skewed the results for root memorization, where he only was able to recall 0 words, which is not ideal. I also had no control for what the participants did outside of the camera frame, which means that if the participants were in a more controlled environment, they were probably more dialed in and focused on the task in front of them instead of doing it in their own rooms. And I also think that the probability of significance would also be higher if I had a higher count of participants in each condition. So instead of 10 in each condition, having it at 12 or higher. So yeah, thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.
Our second contestant is the winner of the category Work of Art, Design, Performance, or Creation, Sydney Schleiser.
My name is Sydney Schleiser, and I'm a freshman here at the University of Charleston, and I'd like to show you my art project, Mother Nature. Growing up in the state of West Virginia all my life, I was able to live in the woods and appreciate the world around me. It was beautiful. Every day I had the opportunity to wake up to the gentle rustling of the wind through the trees and the ever-present summer sun reflecting the overwhelming hue of green through the valley. During the day, various woodland creatures would wander through the thickets, occasionally eating from my neighbor's vegetable garden. In the night, the fireflies glowed, giving us soft lights between the dark mountains. Although the constant beauty was visually pleasing, I became numb to its lure and began to live my day-to-day life just making it by. No longer was I able to stare into the woods, wondering how something so beautiful came to be. Unfortunately, For many years, I was caught in this monotony of my daily routine. I was numb. However, back in the fall of 2020, I had the opportunity to experience the science of the world around me through my West Virginia environments class. This class motivated me in so many ways to think about my personal impact on the environment of which I was blessed to live in. I often found myself drawing the plants or animals I found in the woods during our excursions. For once in many years of living in the woods, I began to regain my appreciation for the beauty around me. This beauty, with its very intricate processes, inspired me to make art of the world around me. This is how the concept of the piece Mother Nature came to be. This piece features several animals, birds, insects, and plants native to West Virginia. Such animals were picked to be featured due to their constant presence in my life. For example, I enjoy bird watching, so I included the cardinal, the red-bellied woodpecker, and the Cooper's hawk because they'd all appear around my house now and then. In front of the animals features a beautiful woman, Mother Nature. This woman supports the life she's holding behind her, protecting them. When I came up with her character, I thought of what beauty looked like, and I was inspired by the women who are represented in the movie Hidden Figures, due to their absolute strength and perseverance. Her beauty represents the grace of the world around us, while her white eyes represent her indiscriminate gaze upon her creatures. The animals, birds, insects, and plants are a part of her, to hold them safe. West Virginia has a unique opportunity of holding one of the only biodiversity hotspots in the world. So as Mother Nature protects the organisms in the picture, may we protect what we have in West Virginia. In a way, Mother Nature also represents the fragile landscape of the intricate processes that hold up the environment. Such processes, including the life cycle and the carbon cycle, are not fully appreciated at face value, but can be through rigorous study of what holds our fragile ecosystem together. In the end, this drawing represents my new love for the nature that surrounds me every day. It pleads to the viewer to also love and act as a steward of the environment we are blessed to live in. In the future, I aspire to study how certain environmental impacts affect us West Virginians by becoming a physician, and I will continue to make art of the world I see around me. As humans, we have the unique privilege to preserve the beauty around us and to learn about the intricate processes around us. Therefore, the next time we go into the dense forests of West Virginia, may we all be mindful of our impact on the environment and, of course, our home.
Our third contestant today is the winner of the category Product, Process, Service, or Project, Sarah Ball.
Hello, my name is Sarah Ball, and my business is wireless telemetry. This idea came to me in June 2018 when I was working as a nursing assistant at CMC Memorial. One of the biggest problems that many of my patients faced was not because of their illness. It was because of the multiple wires that they were connected to at all times that monitored their hearts. I saw that these wires caused unnecessary discomfort to my patients while they were already in a very uncomfortable and nerving state while being in an environment that they're not used to, the hospital. This is when wireless telemetry came to me. I thought, what if I could make a product that didn't have any unnecessary wires, was lightweight, could withstand anything that the patient put it through, was comfortable for the patients to wear, and was also easy to use. Now that I am almost 3 years in the making of this product, I have found that there are two directions that I could take it. When used at home, Bluetooth can be used to transmit the data to the monitor, which would either be the patient's phone or a computer. When used in the hospital, the frequency that would need to be used is allocated by the wireless medical telemetry systems. They have set aside 14 megahertz of spectrum specifically for this use. As you can see, this product is not completely wireless yet. This is because the leads need to be connected together so that they can give an accurate reading. At the top of the image to your right, you can see the power source hangs from the patient's neck. This power source is also used to transmit the data to the preferred monitor. This means the wired connection to the monitor is no longer needed. Wireless telemetry will continue searching for a way to remove all wires, even the ones between the leads, to provide our patients with even more comfort. Our target customer at this time are patients that primarily use home health care. These patients suffer from one or more chronic illnesses, and most require constant heart monitoring. Many of these patients suffer from a respiratory illness and have oxygen, a ventilator, or a CPAP machine at home. When there is a respiratory illness, more times than not, there is also a cardio illness. This is why these patients would benefit from having a telemetry system at home that would allow them to carry out their normal activities of daily living while still having constant monitoring of their heart. Our marketing will be largely performed by an existing medical device company that we will establish a licensing agreement with. This company will also be the means of production and distribution of our product. Our selling strategy will involve integrating our product with another product or system that is already being used for at-home healthcare. This other product would most likely be used for a respiratory illness. Wireless telemetry will be selling business to business and will be operating as an original equipment manufacturer. As you can see, wireless telemetry does have many competitors, and this is just a short list of them. Philips Medical is a device that is already being used in hospitals, and many of you may have experienced or used this product before. A LifeCore and ECG check are very similar to each other, and you have probably seen them advertised before. They are devices that can project your heart rhythm just by placing 2 of your fingers on the device. One negative about these devices is that they cannot constantly monitor your heart. Wireless telemetry knows that there are many competitors, but we are ready to develop our product to have a competitive advantage at all times. On this slide, you can see our financial projections for the first 3 years of sales. We intend to start sales at the beginning of 2022. We should break even within 2 years of sales, and by the end of our 3rd year, we would have made a product of $1.8 million. On this slide, you can see our forecast for the first 3 years of sales, which include the financials projections from the previous slide. In our first year, we project to have at least 25 customers, and we expect to grow tremendously after that. We would also like to keep our employees at a minimum since we will be licensing our product to a medical equipment manufacturer for production and distribution. At this time, we are still at the prototyping and proof of concept phase. To move on to our next phase of testing and production, we will need a substantial amount of funding to do so. Now, I hope that you see the value and need for wireless telemetry in our hospitals and hospitals all around the world. Thank you for your time.
And our 4th contestant is the winner of the case study category, Samuel Dillon.
It's the beginning of the year, tax season, a time when each of us have to pay those unwanted taxes. But what if I were here today to tell you that there are actually ways in which you can lessen the amount of taxes you pay? Yes, you heard that correctly. Stay tuned. So I'd like to begin with a quote. You must pay taxes, but there is no law that says you must leave a tip. I'll let that sink in. So a brief overview. I have my clients, my topic, and my purpose. My clients are a couple by the name of George and Laura Freeman. My topic is taxes, and my purpose is to provide a detailed plan to my clients regarding their taxes. That must be my clients. Yes, come in. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Freeman. I trust that you are both doing well today and that you are as eager as I am to learn all about taxes. So what is a standard deduction versus an itemized deduction, and what is best for you all? Let me explain. A standard deduction is a lump sum of money that the government allows you to deduct from your taxable income. Since you both are married filing jointly, you are able to deduct $24,800 from your taxable income. Whereas an itemized deduction is a bit more tricky due to the fact that the IRS posts a list of items in which you can deduct if you qualify. And what I have done is looked through your income statement and found the items that you qualify to deduct. The first item is a mortgage interest deduction. So any home bought before December 15th, 2017 allows the homeowner or you to deduct the interest on the first $1 million of debt. Whereas if you would have purchased your home after this date, you can only deduct the interest on the first $750,000 of debt. Lucky for you both, you purchased your home before this date, which allows you both to deduct the interest on the first $1 million of debt. And this deduction is actually going to qualify you to deduct $47,732.76. Let me explain how I arrived at this number on the next slide. So I came up with an amortization schedule, which Mr. and Mrs. Freeman, feel free to take a look at.
Yes, thank you.
You're quite welcome. So an amortization schedule takes your payment and shows what goes to interest and what goes to the principal. So you borrowed $800,000 at an interest rate of 6% for 30 years. You have paid 12 payments so far. If you add up the interest column, you come up to $47,732.76 in interest. You can deduct that full amount from your taxable income. The next item is church donations. You donate $10,000 a year to your church, which is great. So the rules for donations are that you cannot deduct the full amount if it exceeds 60% of your adjusted gross income. In your all's case, you're below this amount, so you're actually able to deduct the full $10,000 that you donate to your church each year. The last item is personal property deduction. You have $13,926 in personal property taxes between your principal residence and your mountain condo. However, you can only deduct $10,000 out of that $13,926. I'm sorry, but that's better than nothing. So I know this was a lot of information. So what I have done is come up with a Excel table, which you can take a look at. And what that does is break down your 3 different deductions. You have your mortgage interest, your church donation, and your property tax. These 3 items add up to a total of $67,732.76, which can then be deducted from your taxable income. So what is my recommendation? My recommendation is that you itemize, which will reduce your taxable income by $67,732.76, whereas a standard deduction will reduce your taxable income by $24,800. So what you do is you have your taxable income. You take that $67,732, subtract it. That gives you your taxable amount. So then you take the taxable amount and you multiply it by your tax rate. That is the amount of taxes you're going to pay. So my recommendation again is that you itemize, which is going to save you thousands of dollars. That concludes this meeting. Mr. and Mrs. Freeman, I hope you have enjoyed this meeting, and I look forward to working with you both in the future regarding saving for retirement.
Thank you so much. You have been very helpful.
You're welcome. My name is Sam Dillon. Thank you for watching.
We certainly hope you enjoyed those presentations. Which one was your favorite? Stick around for a few moments and we'll be right back to announce the results. Thank you for staying with us. Now let's get down to what you came to see. The top 2 presentations as determined by our panel of 21 judges. After advancing from a tough category with a lot of strong competition and obviously holding his own here in the finals, the 2021 I3 runner-up is Samuel Dillon. Congratulations, Samuel, on taking a subject that can be bland, such as income tax, and making it interesting and entertaining. It appears you'll be able to save a lot of people on their tax bills in the future. And now, the 2021 I3 Grand Champion. When we look back over the past year, there are a lot of things we miss and may wish were different. But we also tend to miss a lot of the beauty in the world around us. Perhaps that's why this year's winner resonated so well with the judges. And while this particular category tends to have the fewest entries each year, its participants over the years have established it as an absolute force in I3. For the second year in a row, the I3 Grand Champion comes from the category Work of Art, Design, Performance, and Creation. This year's winner is Sydney Schleiser with her work entitled Mother Nature. Congratulations, Sydney, and keep in mind as a freshman, we are looking forward to many more of your great achievements here at UC. This concludes the 2021 I3 Grand Champion event. Thank you to everyone who participated in any way as a judge, as a presenter, or as a fan. We look forward to seeing you again next year in the 2022 edition of I3.